I think it's kind of neat to have the wolves around.
The wolves are a very effective predator, very ruthless, and it sounds like the elk population is really hurting.
It's about the damage that the wolves can do to the big game species that these guys are hunting. And that's what it's all about to them, is they want to come out here and be able to harvest an animal and not have to compete with the wolf. And then the fact that the wolf is protected to where they can't harvest that, they have a problem with that.
We've got a lot of hunters that come in the store that have seen wolves take down game, and are real concerned with what the future is going to bring, with the wolf reintroduction. Not only is it the hunters that are worried about it, I think it's a lot of the businessmen that are worried about it too. Because there's an economic benefit to every elk tag, every moose tag that's let out. That hunter comes into town and brings his buddies, they spend the night, or, buy meals, or, there's a huge economic benefit to having one more wolf, or one more, wolf tag would be good too, but one more moose tag or elk tag. So there's a lot of concern, hunters and businessmen alike.
The research going on here in the Madison Valley right now, it's kind of delving into differing behavioral effects upon this elk population that from basically two different types of risk. The first one being wolf predation risk, and the second one being human hunters. And so we're putting out GPS collars on both elk and wolves here in the valley. We can get a pretty good idea of how these elk are responding behaviorally to both of these two different types of predators. The second chapter of the research involves looking at how these elk distribute, and then once the hunting seasons start in September, October, how is that influencing distribution and timing of migration back here to winter range. So we have one researcher intensively monitoring these elk every day, these radio-collared elk, and then one researcher intensively tracking the wolves on a daily basis.
I don't think that wolves necessarily compete with hunters for elk. The wolves are quiet, so the wolves won't typically displace a herd too much, if they don't pressure them too much. During rifle season, the first few shots, any of the bulls that have been around a little while know what's going on and they take off. And I wasn't able to go out the first day of rifle season, so I went out the second day, and there was not an elk to be found anywhere in that whole basin. So the elk that had been there for the previous month, every single day, had completely moved out overnight. So it's a big impact on them.
To some degree, wolves and hunters are not selecting the same animals, and you have differing population consequences because of that, and it's just a matter of trying to balance that and trying to find some sort of a middle ground where both of those can be managed properly.
The hunters are all looking for the trophy animal. They're all looking for the bull with the big horns. The wolves don't care. They're going to take the sick or the weak first, whether it's a calf or whether it's a cow or whether it's a bull. As long as it's managed, I think it's a good thing, and I don't see where the elk are really going to be. The elk numbers are really going to be hurt by the wolves unless the wolves get overpopulated, and then obviously it will.
100 years ago, there was hardly anybody in the Madison Valley. So we weren't living with wolves or grizzlies. I mean, they were here, we weren't. And so, that old saying, it's all fun and games till somebody loses an eye. Well, from what I've heard and seen, the wolves are not afraid of you. So when is it going to be that some 3-year-old kid disappears out of a backyard of a house because the wolves are right there? When are we going to go from 5 moose tags in the Madison to 1 and have hardly any hunters come into town because we don't need them anymore? So we're not compatible with the wolves, and they shouldn't be here. That's my feeling.